do all that we can. Allah says in the Quran, call the people with wisdom and beautiful teaching. Wisdom and beautiful teaching. And Allah tells us in the Quran, we won't read it all, but I'll say to you this, go look it up. In the Quran, chapter 8, ayat 24, that Allah said, He said this to Muhammad, to us, to Muhammad the Prophet. He says, this is a religion that calls people to life. He said, why won't they answer the call to life? Look it up, because we just don't have time to read it. Chapter 8, ayah 63. Muhammad the Prophet is calling you to that which gives you life. Now here's the piece for everybody. We hear adhan every day, 5 times a day, right? And iqamah. In that call, it says, hayya salam. The word hayya, hayyun, is life. So it's saying, come alive to salam. Then it says, hayya falah. And as a result of coming alive to prayer, then you have a successful life. So he says, hayya salam. That's the call. The first of statements, Allah is great, Muhammad is the messenger. Then he says, hayya salam, come alive. And if you look up chapter 2, verse 255, Allah says, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, that Allah is the living. So this is a call to life, not a call to death. And for this whole community, and we close, is this. It's called an ummah. Ummah. And the word ummah is connected to the word for mother. Ummah is community, right? Ummah. The word for mother is ummi, my mother. Get this, So we'll look at our community just as we look at the mother. And the mother is one who does what? That produces life, that contains life, that preserves life, that feeds and nourishes and develops life. And then once the life comes out of her, maintains the life, right? That's So that's to tell us that the ummah is a place that develops good, new, healthy life, and it's about preserving life, not destroying life and promoting death. So Muslims always condemn the call for death, the call for suicide, the call for killing innocent people. No, this is a religion of life. It calls us to life. Allah is not called the death. He's called Al-Hayyu. That's one of his attributes, the living. And that's what Muslims want, life and good life. And that's what this religion is about. We are not about destruction. We are not calling for the death and destruction of America or anything else. We're just calling for freedom, justice, and equality for all people to live together in harmony. And our doors are open to everyone. We have nothing to hide. So, dear believers, we have to close. We have the guests here, and we welcome the New Jersey State Attorney General. He's here with some of his staff members, and we welcome the State Attorney General, which we all was aware of the situation, the NYPD spying, right? And it was the NYPD. And that brought about certain reactions from the Muslim community. And as a result of that, the New Jersey law enforcement, who in our eyes, people's eyes, because it happened in New Jersey, they had to step up because it looked like they was implicated in some way. But they've done nothing. I can tell you as an imam and being a part of it, they've done nothing but try to help reestablish the trust between the Muslim community and New Jersey law enforcement. And we've had meetings with them, very productive meetings. They form a committee, outreach committee, to try to get to know the community better. And we appreciate the fact that the Attorney General is here to familiarize himself with our community and to see us, to meet, to greet, and God willing, he'll make some comments, etc. He's here. And to me, that's a good sign. That's a big sign for us. So what we're going to do, first of all, we welcome our guests, always. And they see what Muslims are really about, what Jummah is about. But what we're going to do, we're going to have our prayer, which is the format of the Jummah. And no matter what, to the Attorney General and everybody, we do what we do the way we always do it. Because we say we have nothing to hide. So this Jummah is the same way it would have been if you was not here. They know that. So we don't change like that, because when we say we have nothing to hide, this is us. This is us. So what we're going to do, as we always do, we'll make this salat. And there's 5 prayers. The ask is so close, we'll go into that. That'll be another 5 minutes. Then after that, in between there, you meet, greet, however you want to do it, then you come up, make comments, etc., etc., etc. But this is what it is about. And dear believers, we pray that Allah will guide us, protect us, have mercy on us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And dear believers, please stay back for this. Alhamdulillah. Amin. Assalamu alaikum. Ikama salat.
Your celebration here today. And so, I know there are religious traditions that are different. I know there are features of our religions that are different. But also that fundamentally, the things that are spoken about here, the things that are felt in this room, and the way all of you conduct yourselves is exactly what I hope that my family and I are both gaining from our spiritual worship and taking out of it when we leave. So, it's important to see it, right? It's important for me to have the chance to see it, because what you realize is how much alike it is in so many ways. It's a fundamental issue. I'm not talking about everything that we do, and whether it's on a Friday, or it's on a Monday, or whether it's on a Saturday for other religions. When you take the time to consider the fundamental beliefs that are so important to all of you, so many of them are parallel and are the same as the ones that are so important to me and my family. But most importantly, I think what all of you need to know is the respect that I have for the Imam and the friendship that he's shown me by inviting me here, by giving me a chance as the new Attorney General, because when this issue arose with the NYPD, I've been in office for about a month. And thankfully, due to his friendship and the friendship of other leaders in the Muslim community, we've had a chance to get to know each other a little bit, and have a chance to listen to each other, and a chance to share their concerns and the efforts that I want to make. But what I want all of you to know is that it is not tolerable here in the state for us to have people treated differently because of what they believe. Period. And by the way, the things you believe are the things that I believe. Right? And so I don't expect my family and I to go to church on Sunday and feel like we can't. So I don't expect all of you to have, when you take the time out of your day to come here, to feel that you can't. You have to. It's important to you. It's important to me. So, again, I'm thankful for the blessings that I have and the friendships that I'm developing with the Imam and others. And we'll continue to do the things we have to do to make sure that the people that live here, my friends and my neighbors and my fellow New Jerseyans, which is what all of us are, have the chance to have the same kind of ability to do what we want to do. That's why we live here, right? We can live somewhere else where people tell us what to do, and we chose not to. We chose to live in a place where we express our beliefs, we live our lives in a good way, and that's it. And when we do that, we get left alone. And so, there's nothing more for me to say than thank you. Thank you for the warmth and the welcoming reception that I received here today. Thank you for letting me watch and learn a little bit about your faith and how your services are conducted. And thank you to the Imam for continuing to have our relationship, which is going to be a continuing relationship for as long as I serve as Attorney General. So
Very good.
We'll continue to talk, and we'll continue to hear about and listen about the concerns that this community has, as I'm obligated to do, and as I want to do. So, thank you.
Let me just say to everybody and to the Attorney General, we have some refreshments. So you can't leave without some of the refreshments. And most certainly, someone told me, where's he at? I'm going to tell you, he said, Mr. Page. You know what he told me? Is it okay to say it, Mr. Page?
Absolutely.
He said, make sure the Attorney General get one of these bean pies.
Listen,
So what we're going to do, please, we want to make sure that we have some refreshment, but we're going to make our prayer. And if you can just hang back a few minutes while we make our prayer. Those who want to hang back, meet and greet, maybe we can have a few questions. Everything will be good. And that way, if it's okay with you, we have some few questions. Everything is good and all that. He's up for question and answer. So we're going to make our salah, our prayer for God, and just give us 5 minutes to do that. Okay? Yes, okay. Somebody call the advance. ilaha illallah wa shadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Alhamdulillah. I witness there's no God but Allah, and I witness Muhammad is the messenger. I'm going to say it 2 more times. Ashhadu ilaha illallah wa shadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. One more time. Ashhadu ilaha illallah wa shadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So this is how one becomes a Muslim. Is words. The words are so important in Islam. You give your word is bond. Your word is good. So now she has become a full of Islam. Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah. Embrace the sister. All of this happened in 2012, a result of how we handled our dawah efforts when it was discovered that New Jersey Masjid Ibrahim was under surveillance, was spied upon by NYPD. But my most important point here is showing us some of the results of our dawah efforts in that time and always, which is so important. You see, in Newark's Muslim community, the revelation of New York City's secret spying campaign has opened painful new wounds, etc. And this is a very important magazine here. We ended up in a story, full story here, of Islam in Newark, in New Jersey. And this magazine here, it still comes out, New Jersey Monthly magazine. I'm going to show you a few other efforts because even Dan Rather, you know him, he's been around a long time. They came and covered Masjid Ibrahim as well.
Tonight, is or is not extremism a threat? Tonight, is or is not extremism a threat in America's Muslim communities? One outspoken Muslim American says it is.
The only way to inoculate Muslims against radicalization is to teach them that they can purely identify with America.
But critics worry that Muslim Americans are being unfairly singled out.
If every time you say the word Islam and you say Islamic extremists, then you begin to tie those two concepts together in the people's minds.
Good evening. In the years since the terrorist attacks of September 11th, the New York City Police Department has largely gotten high marks for keeping the city safe. The NYPD brass believe that diligent and proactive police work could stop attacks before they even happen. That's the key to effective counterterrorism. But recently, the NYPD has faced some heavy criticism. A series of controversial investigative reports by the Associated Press disclosed targeted surveillance operations and undercover police activity that many critics say have crossed a line. NYPD has been monitoring Muslim Americans, their organizations, their mosques, student groups, and the NYPD operation wasn't just in New York, but throughout the Northeast. It was a top-secret operation launched in the name of public safety. As you might expect, these revelations have ignited a firestorm, especially from Muslim American communities. We went to a mosque in Newark, New Jersey, one that had been monitored by the New York Police Department. The Imam, Mustafa El-Amin, preached a fiery sermon that Friday afternoon.
We are Americans. This is our country, our country. And I can say for many of us, that if there's any elements among us that's looking to instigate, to provoke as provocateurs, to get us off base and get us off focus, to do something crazy that will hurt us and our family and our mission and our image, we'll be the first to try to stop it. And we will welcome any kind of surveillance, any kind of help to help us, because we have family, children, babies. And when people go extreme, they don't care nothing about your children, your baby, or your faith. They're trying to make a point. And that goes for people who call themselves Muslim, Christians, and Jews across the board.
But while Imam El-Amin did say he welcomed police surveillance, he also stressed that the actions of a few extremists should never be used to characterize all Muslim Americans.
So the rational mind will understand that you can't blame a whole community because of the actions of other people. So you can never say all Muslims are terrorists because of the actions of certain people. You can't do it with Muslims, Christians, and Jews. It's not fair. It's not proper.
And that is one of Congressman Ellison's chief worries, that surveillance tactics like the NYPD's could be viewed as antagonistic and thus undermine counterterrorism efforts by alienating the very people who can help the most.
I think law enforcement needs to be aware that their best allies to stop Muslim radicalization, violent radicalization, is the Muslim community.
Most gracious, most merciful, right?
In America, we cannot police people's thinking. We cannot tell people to not think the thoughts of a Ku Klux Klaner or a neo-Nazi or a peace and justice advocate or an environmental advocate. We can't police what people think. In America, people can think whatever they want to think. What they cannot do is hurt other people as they do it.
We could get you to a diabetic specialist if you wanted.
As for Dr. Jasser, he told us that whatever people may think of him and his message, he believes this country needs to have a far more open and honest debate.
If I can't argue these ideas with my American Muslim colleagues and friends and begin to figure out who's right and wrong and which direction into the future we want to take as Muslims in America, then I might as well be living in Syria, where people are getting shot in the streets for their opinions.
Brian Michael Jenkins says that while he also welcomes the debate, we cannot let our fear obscure the principles upon which this country was founded.
I mean, 9/11 was a terrible tragedy. 9/11 did not bring down the Republic. Al-Qaeda will not bring down the Republic. Any future terrorist threat is not going to bring down this nation. That's something only we can do. That's our choice.
Muslims in America is an important and complicated topic. We will continue to report on it. Now, when we needed, we went to a mosque in Newark, New Jersey, one that had been monitored by the New York Police Department. The Imam, Mustafa El-Amin, preached a fiery sermon that Friday afternoon.
We are Americans. This is our country, our country. And I can say for many of us, that if there's any elements among us that's looking to instigate, to provoke as provocateurs, to get us off base and get us off focus, to do something crazy that will hurt us and our family and our mission and our image, we'll be the first to try to stop it. And we will welcome any kind of surveillance, any kind of help to help us, because we have family, children, babies. And when people go extreme, they don't care nothing about your children, your baby, or your faith. They're trying to make a point. And that goes for people who call themselves Muslim, Christians, and Jews across the board.
But while Imam El-Amin did say he welcomed police surveillance, he also stressed that the actions of a few extremists should never be used to characterize all Muslim Americans.
So the rational mind will understand that you can't blame a whole community because of the actions of other people. So you can never say all Muslims are terrorists because of the actions of certain people. You can't do it with Muslims, Christians, and Jews. It's not fair. It's not proper.
And that
The religion of Islam does not promote violence. The religion of Islam does not promote violence and terrorism of any form. The Quran condemns it. And we as Muslims in America, we appreciate the rights and privileges that are afforded to us based upon the Constitution. And in our religion, we are to believe in all of the prophets, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, and we are to invite people with wisdom and beautiful preaching.
and we ain't going nowhere.
This is an ad that I paid for a part of my Dawa efforts. It ran on CNN and some other major stations.
Privileges that are afforded to us based upon the Constitution. And in our religion, we are to believe in all of the prophets, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, and we are to invite people with wisdom and beautiful preaching.
And we ain't going nowhere.